Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing for this Wednesday, August 27th. The numbers are coming in for this year's Car Week, and we're going to hear more about that from our friend Lindsey Stevens from SeeMonterey, and we hear the news is good. Hi, Lindsey.
Hi, Maya. Good to see you. Thank you for having us. Yes, generally, overall business was great this year for Car Week. We have numbers in on hotel data, and those numbers are showing occupancy around 85% throughout the county for the 10-day period. Some of those nights, though, were up to closer to 94, 95%, which for hotels is really considered full occupancy. So that 85% average occupancy for the period is about on par with what it was last year. The good news is revenues were actually up a bit this year. So overall hotel revenue is up around 5%. So a stronger year in terms of bringing in money and that economic impact, TOT collections, things like that for our hotels. Early ahead of Car Week in the months leading up to it, we heard that business was maybe a little bit slower for some of these hotels. So SeeMonterey did put additional marketing into place around Car Week, trying to drum up excitement. And it does look like that worked. The booking pace definitely picked up in the weeks leading up to the events. And so we're happy with how that came out at the end of the day, seeing that great hotel occupancy. Let's see, with revenue up, the occupancy flat, we see that people understand that that's a premium time to be here in Monterey County, and they're willing to pay for it. There's so much energy, there's so much excitement. So people really do understand, like, you got to be a part of it. So we're happy to see that. And of course, as SeeMonterey does, whenever people are in town, whether it's for Car Week or any other time of the year, we do encourage them to visit responsibly and respectfully. So as we talked about on the previous briefing, aligning ourselves with the county and the messaging there, as well as our first responders and law enforcement, to make sure that we were putting out messaging to visitors to say, hey, when you're coming here, we want you here. We're excited to have you here, but you got to behave responsibly and respectfully. So our tip of the hat to our first responders and our emergency services and law enforcement that helped keep the community safe over that time. The week is incredibly valuable to our local businesses, and it's not just hotels. While we don't have direct data numbers quite yet for restaurants and shops and things like that, we know anecdotally they all saw a boom. And a lot of these restaurants and businesses really rely on that to carry them through some of the slower months. So we like to say that if you have a little planning and a little patience, you'll do just fine over Car Week, whether you're a visitor or local. So we appreciate our residents taking that little bit of extra time to plan and that little extra bit of patience while our county is full of visitors, because that economic impact is felt throughout the year, not just the impact of traffic on a few days. So we're really thrilled that the businesses that we've spoken with have also seen the benefit of those Car Week events. In terms of charitable contributions, we understand that the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance alone brought in $4 million for the Pebble Beach Foundation, which supports education initiatives. It supports youth programs. So again, those ramifications and that benefit of Car Week benefiting the county throughout the year. So we love to see that. Our website also, we kind of gauge traffic by that. Our website saw a 90% increase in visitation over the Car Week period to our Car Week pages from the prior weeks. So it's a huge jump. We know people were using our planning and information tools. And then our social channels had about a 30% increase in visitors. So our team was out there creating content, reminding people of when events were happening and continuing to put out that responsible travel messaging throughout the 10 days of Car Week. And people were really finding that helpful and engaging with it. So we're thrilled to see that as well. Maya, that's what I have for you for the most part. If there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Thank you. And for people who would like to have a question for Lindsey, please go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll ask it. Lindsey, let me ask you, this is such a big event. Are we already looking ahead to planning for next year's Car Week?
Always. We know about when it falls every year. That was actually one piece of news that came out in the week after Car Week was it looks like Pebble Beach Concordia Elegance will be moving their dates in 2028. They'll shift to a weekend earlier. So we may see some movement around there, but already talks of what will happen with that shift. And as soon as one car week ends, the next begins. So we try to get all of that information from our organizers to make sure our website and our sources stay up to date. And, hotels, restaurants, they all know when to plan around those dates for that influx of business and that influx of economic impact.
Thank you, Lindsey, so much. And you talked a little, I'll get to that topic next, but I do have a question for you. Does SeeMonterey have any metrics for the number of tourists compared to last year? There were estimates of 100,000 visitors.
That's the number that we really do stick with. We don't have exact data counts. No one's sitting there at the county line with a clicker. So we don't know exactly how many visitors come. Our best barometer is that hotel occupancy. And we also use geolocation data. We don't quite have that. It's about a 3-week lag for that geo data. So we don't have that quite yet. That will give us a better idea of where those visitors were coming from. But right now we don't have a count, and we still continue to estimate around that $100,000 visitor mark.
And Lindsey, you mentioned your website had a really unbelievably fabulous increase in traffic. And one of the things that the county has is a traffic navigator also, which really complements what you have. And I wanted to share some data from our traffic tracker. And this goes from August 4th through August 19th, a little bit before, where people may be looking at the, what to do ahead of Car Week. So you're seeing we had really great results this year. We had 6,700 views and 448 daily views for this tracker. So it looks like people are really taking advantage of the resources that are out there, both SeeMonterey and with the county, and really using it to either love it or get away from it. Whichever works for you, the resources are definitely there. Lindsey, any last thoughts on Car Weeks before we move on to our next topic?
No, we look forward to seeing you here around the same time next year, Maya. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much also. Great news. So now we're going to talk about a very special milestone that is being celebrated for a program that brings housing, mental health, and substance abuse treatment all together to help those in need overcome barriers and change their lives. This is Hope Housing Marina's 1-year anniversary. There is plenty to celebrate. We're very pleased to have Melanie Rhodes, who's the director of our County of Monterey Behavioral Health, and she is also joined by Philip Sherwood, who's the deputy director of our Monterey County Behavioral Health. Thanks for being here. Really great news to celebrate an anniversary for this fantastic program.
Yeah, thanks so much for letting us join you today. Oops, I froze a minute there. I did drop the flyers for the invitation to join us into the chat, as well as a brochure with a little bit of information on the program. This is Monterey County's, County of Monterey's first behavioral health bridge housing program. And it's it brought $11.3 million to the county for us to work in partnership with Housing Authority of the County of Monterey, as well as some of our contract provider partners, Sun Street Center, Interim Incorporated, to bring the services, the wraparound services and support, as well as housing support to the unhoused who we have been able to successfully house over the past year in this program. To share a little bit of information about the goal of the program is really to help provide services and support to help people experiencing homelessness who have been diagnosed with a serious mental illness and/or a substance use disorder to overcome barriers to accessing and maintaining long-term housing. So while this is bridge housing, so it's shorter term, it's 12 months up to 24 months. Can be extended up to 24 months. But We have individuals, we have single adults there in kind of shared roommate situations. We have families out there. It's a very integrated community. And pretty much what we did is in partnership with the Housing Authority of County of Monterey was took an underutilized Pueblo Del Mar facility that was available out there and converted it into Hope Housing Marina. And so we have been able to serve, actually, let me not misspeak on that. I'm going to give you the numbers here. We have been able to serve, let's see, over 140 community members since we took our first residents in the end of August last year. 98 adults, 42 children, like minors, children. And we have also had some successful discharges where we have 7 households who have gone on to connect to permanent housing as a result. So we're having some good success. I mean, there have been challenges along the way as well. This is, county behavioral health sort of first step into housing in this way. And so we've learned a lot over the past year, but we're really wanting to invite folks to come to our open house, come hear more about the program, come visit, and we will have our partners available on site, and we will be having some light refreshments and a tour available if there's interest. So we're just really invite folks to join us.
Melanie, I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the services because you're bringing a lot into one place. I mean, most people, there are organizations that just do housing. There are organizations that just do the treatment. You've got them all together, and that really is a fantastic thing because there are people who need them all in one place.
Correct. And that's the whole goal of behavioral health bridge housing, right? Is to kind of help unhoused folks, individuals, families, whatever, be housed, but then also provide that wraparound service support model. So helping with sort of the housing navigation part of it, as well as providing the support for those who are struggling with substance use issues and are, wanting to address that with having Sun Street Center on site, who is providing the outpatient substance use services and supports, having interim on site, who folks may know are one of our largest contracted provider partners for supporting our clients with serious mental illness and co-occurring conditions. We have a lot of clients with complex needs, and being able to have these provider partners on site bringing the services and supports to the residents has made a big difference. And I should just kind of call out that this is really housing first principles have been incorporated into the thinking for this entire program and project. So really kind of having that low barrier, let's try and get folks into housing and then provide that wraparound services and supports to them and make that just readily and easily available.
And when you talk about success stories, if you have 7 households that have now moved into permanent housing, I mean, people may look at that and say 7, is that good? Is that bad? But the fact is they're no longer needing your services. They're able to now be in their own place and improve their life and change their lives.
Correct. And if you think about the model of the program, right, it's like providing this sort of bridge housing, interim housing for 12 months up to, 24 months. Within 12 months, we've already had 7 households that have utilized the services and kind of graduated and moved on to permanent housing options. So, I mean, that's wonderful. And we've had some others who have discharged and found other options or opted and said, that it's not the program for me. But the reality is we're full. There's demand. We have more referrals than units available right now. So there is a bit of a wait list. So yeah, the program is heavily utilized, which is great.
Great. And then we look forward to your event. We hope everyone will just come out and really take a look and see what's being done out there. And everyone can feel good that this is happening right in our own community for people, who are our neighbors.
It really speaks to how far we can get and what we can do when we work in partnership, because there is so much need out there. And then if we can pull together sort of experts in different areas to truly build programs that are helpful and can meet the need of our community members, I mean, it's a win for everybody. So thank you for letting us join today.
Thank you. And we really appreciate you always on the briefing.
Thanks
And
so
thanks
much.
everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week, and we'll see you then.